Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and I am your guide for everything Chinese medicine, and I set it all up so us Westerners can figure it out. Now, this is the exact same room that I'm usually in when I'm sitting. The chair is actually right here, you can't see it, but there's nothing behind me as you can see. That is because I am getting ready to leave Utah. I am moving, not coming back. So stay tuned for further developments on that, but on to today's presentation. Now, if you catch the reference to what that was Wolverine from one of his landmark comic book issues. That was actually the cover. It's one of my favorites. And it also kind of bears a relevance to what I'm talking about today, which is the X-Men and their alignments as far as the Chinese elements are concerned. This is actually kind of complicated, kind of refreshing. Okay, so let's take a look, shall we? All right, so we need a little bit of background. Now, the X-Men have been around since, I believe, mid or late 60s. They were an allegory for the whole civil rights movement. Professor X was based on Martin Luther King Jr., and Magneto is based on Malcolm X. Okay? And their respective groups are obvious there. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit more. What do the X-Men do? Well, the X-Men are, technically speaking, a paramilitary group that operate without any form of oversight. They are completely autonomous, and they fight other mutants like them. Yes, the X-Men are filled with mutant humans that have superpowers because reasons. Okay? And they fight others like them that have differing philosophical or political stuff, or somebody just wants to watch the world burn, and no, you can't do that. Okay. So that is kind of their whole thing. They operate out of upstate New York in a place called the Xavier School for the Gifted, or the Xavier School for Gifted Children. That he uses, Professor Xavier is the leader and founder, yada yada yada. He uses the school to bring in young mutants, teach them how to use their powers, educate them, and then they may join the team. Okay? Now, Professor Xavier, the interesting thing about him is he's a psychic. He has the ability to get into a person's mind and tweak things around. He can manipulate them, he can control them, he can actually control their body. He can change the way that they think. Okay? So, that brings in a couple of things, don't you think? Yeah. I don't think he's really such a good guy, personally speaking. So, he's got a machine called Cerebro that he puts on his head and it amplifies his powers, and he can track down anybody he wants for any reason he wants. No one can stop him. And he finds a mutant. I like this one. Let's bring him in. So he goes, talks to the parents. They say, yeah, sure, here you go. I'm thinking he's using his powers to kind of manipulate things so he can get what he wants. Okay? That's my expectation of it. Okay? Then if the student is doing really well at the school, they are then recruited onto the team. They go out on missions where bad things happen. Sometimes people die. Cities get wiped out, etc. Okay? Makes for some fantastic reading, but, looking at the actualities of it, this would not be a good thing. Okay? So, now let's look at this from a Chinese element perspective. Okay? Alright, we have a paramilitary group. We are speaking of the X-Men themselves. They are paramilitary, they have a base, which means they are belligerent. Okay? Even if they're doing it to be nice, they're still fighting. That's wood. Okay? Because wood spreads out, it fights things, it adapts, and it keeps everything that it had before. And it spreads out from the source. Okay? Fire spreads out and just keeps spreading. It doesn't have a home. Okay? Wood does. They have a home, it gets destroyed often, but still. Okay? Also, they are highly adaptive. They sometimes have to use science, they sometimes have to use technology, different powers from different individuals to accomplish a given goal. That's wood. So, I am leaning that most of the elemental makeup of the X-Men is wood. Okay? Alright, let's continue on. Above ground is a school. And it brings in runaways, outcasts, people that don't fit in. They might be loved, but it's not a good fit for them in normal. Here, everybody's accepted and everybody's welcome. They feed them, they clothe them, they educate them, they build them up. That's Earth. But Richard, wait, education is about water. I know, we'll get there. Be patient. Okay? So the school is earthy, and the school leans into the team, which is wood. Where do trees grow? They grow out of the earth. Okay? Trees made out of wood. Make sense? Awesome. So, where the X-Men actually operate is in a bunker, I guess you could call it, underneath the school. It's deep inside. And all incarnations of it, it's very, very metal paneled. Like iron and stainless steel and silver and chrome, yada, yada, yada. As far as the eye can see, that's metal. Da-da-da-da. Also, the nature of that, given that it is hidden, and people only really know about it if they know about it, that is also metal by nature. Metal is about severing, it's about cutting, it is about dormancy, it is about keeping things apart, okay? So the regular students, they might know about it, they might not. They just know that sometimes their professors disappear for a little while. By the way, everybody that's on the X-Men team teaches at the school. Neat, right? Yeah. So, we've got wood primarily, secondary is earth, kind of sort of secondary, maybe third level is metal. Now we get into what they do after all of the punching and power stuff is done. They teach people. They maybe kind of sort of fix things up a little bit, but not usually. Most of the time, at least the stories that I've read, which are kind of old, I might add, half the city's been leveled and, well, guys, let's go home, job well done, haha. Okay? So there's not a lot of repair stuff going on. But given that they are based in a school, there's still some water associated there. Okay? But the X-Men don't usually exist to do any kind of outreach. They're not really going out there, hi, I'm with the X-Men, nice to meet you, hey, you look great today. So there's not really any fire, okay? If there is, it's like minimal, I'd say less than a percentage point. It's not really worth much, okay? There's a little bit of water in there, you know, a skosh, so it's not, you know, totally desiccate and all that, so yay. But that's about it, okay? So I would say that the X-Men, at least as far as their average incarnations are concerned, they are primarily wood with a good hefty amount of earth and metal, and then just a touch of water to make things interesting, and that is all. I would not be happy if this group actually existed in this universe. That would be bad. Because one of the things about superheroes is they tend to create the very things that they fight against. It's super weird. It's one of the things that drives me nuts about comics. Okay? So, I'm going to do another one on the Brotherhood of Mutants. I'm going to do a little bit of research on them and get back to you about that. If you're new to the channel, hit that big red subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a like, leave a comment, and feel free to post it down there in the comments, another society or individual or property that you would like me to look at through a Chinese perspective of some kind. I'd be happy to do it for you. Okay? And if you'd like to get in touch with me directly, feel free to visit my website at vigintmed.com. vigorelli.com. That stands for Vigorelli, integratedmedicine.com. You can go ahead and shoot me a line right there, okay? All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.